Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the Football Martin channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Fans Forum Live. This is a brand new show. I'm going to be doing this more regular as well. Like I say, welcome along to the channel. My name is Martin Sanders, otherwise known as Football Martin, and I've got some guests in the building this evening. Welcome along to Ben, Adam, and Ben Parker as well. So thank you to the gents for joining me. You will recognise these guys. They come onto the channel regularly when we do fan cams down at St Mary's, and I wanted to bring them into this first fans forum. If you're interested in getting involved as well, make sure you drop me a DM. Tonight's agenda, what are we going to be talking about tonight on my fans forum? We're going to talk about the ownership, because that is the biggest story right now. Will Dragon Solak Sell Southampton Football Club for 150 million plus? Is it up for sale or is it not? Is it a golden opportunity or a risky move? We'll look ahead to summer as well. I want to get the guys' opinions. Will there be a fire sale this summer? Who could leave? Who could potentially stay? We're going to debate all of that, and we'll also look ahead to the game against Leicester City at the KP at the weekend, dubbed as Al Crapio. Let's get into the show. Let's start, gents, with the top story this week, and that all comes around Dragon Solak Sport Republic. He owns 80% of the football club. Katharina Lieber still has the 20% stake, but it is rumoured that he is prepared to sell that for in excess of 150 million. Ben T, I'll start with you first. What's your thoughts on the potential sale? Do you think he is genuinely looking to sell it, or do you think he's just a story that's got out there and it's maybe sort of been misinterpreted in some way or form?
Personally, I think it's just a rumour that's got out there. I can't see, with the changes he's starting to make, he's obviously taken the helm, he's brought in some important people into the building. I can't see it myself. And you've got to be careful what you wish for. I mean, that's all I would say. You've got to take it with a bit of a pinch of salt, because, you know, we'd all like these Dubai-based owners to come in with very, very deep pockets. But realistically, although Southampton to us is the best team in the world, the commercial revenue side of it and the chance to be one of the big boys is still a long way away. There needs a lot of pumping of money into the area, maybe growing the stadium, lots of things just to be able to get us competitive. So I don't know if we would ever get that big money owner that we would all crave. So I'd rather stick with who I've got, although they've made mistakes.
Yeah, it is careful what you wish for, Adam, isn't it? And we spoke about it a bit on text, haven't we? The ownership, some of the mistakes they've made. Do you feel that he'll sell it if the right offer comes along?
I hope not. And also, I don't think he would, because he's come out, you know, previously on TalkSport, for example, and said that he is committed. You know, he came in his first full transfer summer, put a lot of money into the team. The recruitment wasn't right, but you can't question that the investment was there from him. Stuck with us, got us back up. And again, you know, not on the level of last time, but the investment has been there in this Premier League season. So I just think that if he can surround himself with those correct people, because remember, this guy he's the investor. He shouldn't be the chairman right now. You know, like that's why we brought Spores in. He's hopefully starting to surround himself with better decision makers, because there's no question that he's willing to pump money into the team. If that doesn't show that you're not committed as an owner, then I don't know what does. So I think it's similar to what Ben said. I think it's just a rumour. I don't think there's anything in substance. I think he'll still be Southampton owner come the end of next season.
Yeah, because he did come out in January, like you say, on TalkSport, and he did say that he was in it for the long haul. He took up the position as the chairman because he wanted people to realise he was serious, Ben Parker. And he took the chair position. It's a tough one to take, isn't it, to become a chairman of a football club? Do you think he wanted to take it, or do you think he's just took it because he wants his money to be well looked after?
I think that definitely plays a part in it. If you're investing a lot of money into this project, you're going to hope that it's being spent well, aren't you? And on the face value, it doesn't look like they've made the right decisions. It's difficult. At the end of the day, the guy's a businessman. And if I come in and I offer you triple the amount that you pay for the club, would you say no? Right now, with everything that's gone on, it's hard. I'm playing devil's advocate here. Look, I don't believe it. I don't think that it's it's real. I think any businessman owner out there, if someone comes in with stupid money, they probably have to look at it. They have to look at it, and something's got out. I don't believe it personally. I can't see it happening, but if it does, Turkey Al Sheikh, please come in and whack a load of money in.
Yeah,
I can't see it.
Yeah, I think it'd be intriguing to see how it unravels. Trish is in the live. Trish, thank you for joining us today. Worst possible time for this rumor to be aired, just when we're trying to attract a new manager and no doubt build a new team. Give Sports Republic another season and another chance? Question mark. I think you're right. I think the timing for me, Benty, I think the timing's bad for me. For if it's true and there's truth to it and this rumor's come out, somebody said to me the other day in one of my videos or a tweet, I can't remember, said, "Oh, it's great timing. It's the end of the season, perfect time for a fresh start." And I'm like, it's not going to happen quickly, but timing's difficult, isn't it? Because we're trying to get a new manager in, you're then trying to attract players, and every manager now, like, there's no doubt Danny Rowe, if it is Danny Rowe, if it's whoever it could be, Liam Rossini, David Wagner. Not that we want David Wagner, but whoever it will be looking at the project, because there's not just our project. There'll be the Leicester project. There'll be other projects out there. So it's really important that they're really aligned and know where they're going, isn't it?
I think also, we've just come off one of the worst seasons, if not the worst season in recent history, and to then think that there could be turmoil at the top with an owner not necessarily wanting to be there. Again, like you say, it couldn't be any worse, the timing, really. We are looking to rebuild, and it needs to all be aligned. And we've made strides. Johan Spoor's coming in. I'm really, really confident that he's going to make the right decisions. He looks like he's literally turning over every stone with regards to the manager, and I think we're going to make the right decision. We've just got to wait to see who that is.
Do we think that it's, you kind of expect the guy to come out and sort of say something to squash the rumours? We've seen, haven't we, that this new ownership group doesn't like to communicate an awful lot to the fan base. But you'd really think if it is just that, a rumor, and there's not really any truth behind it, you'd kind of expect somebody to come out and squash it.
Yeah, I thought that as well. You're right about the communication. I spoke about it quite a bit this week on the channel. The communication at times is non-existent. Then I was with a Leicester fan today, Jack, and he said exactly the same about Leicester's board. They're very quiet. They're not interested in the fans, so to speak, in building a relationship with the fans. I think football's gone that way massively. I don't think that, for me personally, I don't think there's any smoke without fire. I think it's been put out there for a reason. Where it's come from, a lot of people would say, "Oh yeah, it was TalkSport, da da da." But the big thing with TalkSport is the relationship between Jim White and Solak over the last years built quite a bit since the playoff. And that interview that they did at Wembley, he's obviously really good. He's a good journalist, so he's obviously in touch with him. He's put a lot out this last year or so, little leaks, little stories around the managerial situation around Russell Martin. And to be fair, everything that White's put out has been pretty much spot on. So I'm kind of thinking, there's no smoke without fire. But like you say, in business, everything's for sale for a price.
Exactly. And I'm sure there's probably lots of lower end clubs out there that, if a big offer was to come in, it's hard. Look at Newcastle, a massive club, and they came in, the Saudis, didn't they, and made that purchase. So look, I'm putting a bit of dream world in there, but you never know. Yeah, no,
you just, like you say, you've got to be careful what you wish for sure. Make sure you get involved in the comments box below as well. Any super chats where you will highlight and give priority, but please do keep your comments coming. We'll get you guys involved with what we're talking about in our debate this evening on the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. More and more people tuning in all the time. I think it brings us on nicely. We talk about the ownership, and then obviously it's a huge summer, isn't it? We'll talk about manager, we'll talk about players, and the managerial situation's going to hot up, isn't it? The championship finishes this week, Adam. That all ends at the weekend. Really good climax in the championship. There's so much at stake, certainly down the bottom end of the league. It's going to be a must viewing on the way to Leicester for me the weekend, because I'm so intrigued to see what happens at the bottom of that league, who goes down. There's so many teams in the mix. But Sheffield Wednesday, a team that are safe. It's done and dusted for Danny Rowe. He's made a few noises. Do you think once that season's finished, that the interest in him's really going to hot up? They say Leicester are very, very keen to speak with him as well.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm not sure if their last game of the season is at Hillsborough or not, or whether he's got that kind of that guard of honor already. Because what he's done has been unbelievable at Wednesday for the past year and a bit. Came in when they didn't win a game, kept them up, and times this season's had them flirting just outside the playoffs. That's so impressive and amazing to see. Shea Charles, who I think has just won their young player or player of the season, which is great for us to have him back as Southampton fans next year. But no, I think you're right. I think once this season is done, lots of teams are going to be lining up to talk to him. And I'd like to think that we would potentially have maybe the deciding edge over Leicester because he's been there before. It was a big part to the brains and the ideology behind Ralph and his regime. So definitely teams will be lining up to talk to him. But he's an exciting manager. He'd certainly be my pick of some of the championship managers. Certainly more than David Wagner, that's for sure. But I think a lot of fans will be agreeing with that one. But definitely once the season's done, people lining up to come and talk to him.
Yeah, but Ben Barker, we spoke, didn't we, about a guy that we all liked. I think Ben T was with us as well. We were talking about potential managers that we could bring in. Obviously, we spoke about Danny Roll. Liam Rossini was a manager that we really liked. You were one of the first ones on the channel to bring his name up. That looks like it's going to be impossible now, isn't it, to bring Rossini in?
Yeah, I think he's signed a new contract, hasn't he, with Strasbourg? So. That one, unfortunately, is a no-go. Yeah, it's a shame. For me, again, at Hull, I was absolutely gobsmacked when they sacked him. Absolutely gobsmacked. He got them. I think they were in the playoff spots. I might be wrong there. They were very close if they weren't. And I was just so impressed when we played against him, and I watched a few of their games as well. And yeah, very, very. I think he's come on really well as a manager. Yeah, really, really well. But yeah, unfortunately, he's probably not going to be a choice for us. So I think Danny Rowe is probably the strongest linked name right now. I know we've Ben told me about Will Still. I didn't know a lot about him, but yeah, not for me right now. I think if he'd had a couple more jobs, on Sky Sports, it's great watching how he explains everything, but it's about experience, isn't it? It's proven experience, and we can't for me, this is just too bigger job right now. You can't gamble this one.
Yeah, it's a massive one, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah,
it's a huge decision. I think someone put in the live chat a minute ago about it being our biggest summer ever, and it feels like that to me. That it could potentially be one of the biggest summer that the club's faced in many years.
100%. It's, I think the lady explained earlier on the chat there that it's the timing, isn't it? We talk about the owners and potentially selling up. We're looking for a new manager. I mean, literally everything that could go on is happening right now. So it's hugely important. It's hugely important. That's why I kind of expect somebody to come out and say, no, this is we own the club and we've got a plan for the next 5 years or however long it may be.
Yeah. Ben T, it feels like such a long time ago now, doesn't it, since we were relegated? It was only a few weeks ago at Spurs. I remember being there and in the basking sunshine. It was a beautiful stadium, watched us get relegated. I didn't want to see us get relegated there. But it feels like a long time ago now, and it's just like this back end of the season feels like a horrible drag, doesn't it? You're kind of chipping off the games, and it's just like the mood's low, isn't it? The stadium feels quieter every week, though I'm sure it'll pick up for the final two home games being Man City and Arsenal. But it's a really weird end to a season, isn't it?
It's been a real waiting game. Obviously, we've known that we were going down for quite a while. Obviously, it was confirmed a few weeks ago. And then, as we've mentioned, with the other changes that are happening within the club, we just want to hear the news. We want to feel good about something, obviously. But I'm glad that they are taking their time because, as we've said, it's a massive summer. We've got to start that first game of the season or the first few games on the front foot because it's going to be, I know the last time we were in the championship, it was super competitive. I mean, there was 3 outstanding or 4 or 5 outstanding teams in that season. And I think it could be the same again. So we need to make sure we're up there. But yeah, it's been a long, hard season. I think we're all just ready for it to come to an end. But we're slightly optimistic, hopefully optimistic that it'll be a good season next year.
Yeah, some serious surgery needs to be done, Adam, in the summer. A lot of people in the chat talking about it as well. We're going to need a massive clear out of players. There's no doubt about that. I said on a live, I think it was maybe yesterday morning, I did my Good Morning Saints fan show that I did. I'm going to do more of those as well. And I was talking about how the squad, I think it'll look come August, back end of August, start of September. I think it'd be very, very different to what we see now. I also not convinced. I don't know if you feel the same, and it's a conversation for everybody. I'll come to each and one of you, and everyone in live get involved as well. I'm not convinced that we'll be as strong this time round going into the Championship in terms of squad, because last time round we had Shea Adams played up top, Stuart Armstrong, he was in there. We kept Carl Walker-Peters. We won't have those three. We're going to lose Walker-Peters as well now, aren't we? You know, that's a dead cert. Ramsdale will go. We've got an absolute asset in young Mateus Fernandes, who looks brilliant. Adam, do you think we're going to be weaker this time round, or do you think they're building the summer and bring the right bodies in? I personally, I can't see it.
No, I agree totally. I think last time we were so lucky. I mean, we started, at Sheffield Wednesday with the likes of Nathan Teller was still there, James Ward-Prowse was still there, and I think we all thought Walker-Peters would be going, and he stuck around and, to me, became a club legend on the back of last season. He won't be here. He's not sticking around. He's not signing another contract. And why should he? We failed to build around him twice in the Premier League now. It's not good enough. But no, I completely agree. I think we've got some really good assets there that won't be around next season. Dibbling, Fernandes, Harwood Bellis. There's lots of talk about him getting a move away, which I'm quite surprised at personally. I don't think I really think he set the world on fire this season. Obviously not his fault in a bad defence, but yeah, we'll definitely. It's the biggest summer in recent history for the football club, because you're going to be absolutely gutted of all the talent in that team, or the very young talent that haven't really been given a chance yet. So the recruitment is going to need to be key. You're going to need to sign players that are really just competent, experienced for that level of football. And just bring a bit of grit, just bring a bit of fight back to the team, because that fight hasn't been there for me. You go back to, it's been on the writings on the wall for ages now. It's been on there since November, December for me. Like, it's just been chipping away game by game. Oh, now we're actually relegated. So we need to bring players there, just bring them fight and a bit of passion back to the club first and foremost.
Ben Parker, I talk about transfer windows a lot when I come on these shows, and I talk about if I was doing it, I'd be looking at leaders. I think you can't just keep buying young, promising, up and coming players. We went off, and the first proper summer Sport Republic had, they brought in all those young players from Man City, Bazunu, League One goalkeeper, never played anything above League One. The likes of Adozi, Lavia worked out really, really well. Larios, we brought a lot of young players in it. You can't keep just buying young players and not have experience and leaders and people that know the division. I keep talking about the here and now. You have to get a manager for the here and now for this division, but you also need the players, don't you? You need leaders.
That's the key thing. It's not just experience. You can go out and get experienced players. We've got who's the left back from Burnley that never, he's not
Charlie Taylor. Yeah, Charlie Taylor. Yeah.
The guy's got a hell of a lot of experience. For me, and Ben will tell you, I bang on about this year after year after year after year. Experienced players, yes, we need those, but we need players, and Boise said it a minute ago, we need players that have got the grit, the passion, they want to fight. I always say it, Roy Keane type. I know that's in dream world, but that type of player that will grab players, by the scruff of the neck and get them up the pitch and tell them what they need to be doing. We haven't had we had this thing where we seem to just buy these generic, same style players. They're just generic players, all the same, and it's so frustrating. I've said it year after year after year. Haven't I, Ben? Back me up there.
Very much so. Well, I mean, when I look at the youth players coming through, they all seem like clones of each other. They're trained and they're taught to do things in a certain way. And I think the character's gone now.
It's the character, isn't it? Yeah,
that's it. You don't get characters because it's kind of trained out of them. And you've got, back in the day, I mean, we are going back, but the likes of Terry Hurlock, they may not have been the best player in the world, but do you know what? They wouldn't be messing around on the pitch, and they would they put their foot in if they
But
needed
Ben,
to.
don't you think it's more to do with how we now scout players? It's not so much it's trained out of them. It's we look for these players, right? We want to we want a forward player that can play from left to right across the board, and they've got no character and they're quiet. Armstrong, great goal at Wembley. Yes, lovely. He's not had the best of seasons. He's not done that well on loan away to West Brom. When he's interviewed, he's very quiet, quietly spoken. I'm not digging him out for that, but I want to see a bit of passion, for God's sake.
Yeah.
This is the club we love, and it's like these sort of players that we used to have many years ago. We don't have them anymore.
I totally agree. Great comment from the Saints Network. Make sure you go give Saints Network a follow as well. Weekly podcast that they produce on a Sunday at 8 p.m. Make sure you go check them out. Great guys. Love watching the show. Really good comment here. We need the right man to lead the leaders. Question is, which ones want to stay? And that's a really good question, isn't it? Who are the ones to stay? What players? I'll start with you, Adam. Realistically, who do you think will still be here come next season? And who do you want? Who do you want?
Aside from Fernandez, the obvious one. No, I think you're looking at people like Ryan Manning came out the other day on a maybe an interview or something and said that I want to be here next year. I want to get us back up. Say whatever you will about Manning as a player. Not the greatest even in the championship last time, but that's nice to hear. Someone coming out and saying I'll be here next year. I'll get you guys or try and get you guys back up. It's those sorts of players. I'd like to think Flynn Downs would be here next season, especially since Ivan Juric is not going to be in charge. There was a whole fallout that got very messy there. People Juan Larios hasn't really properly played since coming in, has he? He'll be here next season. I think it is those players that to me have kind of really gone under the radar this season and haven't caught the headlines at all. Like Fernandez has just gone about his business so well, but he's young and now big teams are getting a sniff around him. But it's those players that have gone under the radar and just kind of grafted, and those are the ones that I want to be keeping around. Your James Breeze, for example, who gets scrutinised a lot. I think in the Championship, in a flat back four, James Breeze could actually be quite good at right back, not left back or centre back in his actual position.
Right wing back, yeah.
Right midfield probably. But those are the ones for me. Those players that kind of go about their business quietly, but they'll just be grafting. And that's, again, back to what we just said there. Bit of fire, bit of graft, bit of passion,
The thing is, it's key as well. The manager that's coming in is going to define the players, isn't it? Who we want to keep.
That's why it's going to be done quick, isn't it? Like the decision that people say they're taking their time, but once the final whistle goes on this season, don't you think, Ben P, that you have to have that man in ready to go?
100%. My thing is, I just wonder whether we. Is it all done dusted behind the scenes? It can't be really, if it's Danny Roll, for instance, he's made his decision already. I know technically you're not supposed to do these things, but that's why you have agents. We've sorted it out with the agent. This is what he wants. It's a done deal. He's being respectful to his current club, and we'll see. And maybe that's why there's not a lot being said at the minute.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A few people talking in the comments box below about players. Keep them coming. Keep the chat coming, guys. It's brilliant to get you guys involved. I'll keep pulling some of the comments through. Someone mentioned Samuel Dozy continued his good form today. He's done decent. He's had a really good loan spell by the looks of it. He scored, got subbed on the 61st minute, created a chance, good pass accuracy of 80%. He's had a really good time over there. He could play a good part, Ben Towers, next year, couldn't he? Back at Southampton.
I think
he needed to bulk up. Do you think he'd be a key player?
I think he'd be really good in the Championship. I think, the season he's had this year would give him that added experience that maybe he didn't have when he left us. But I think he'll be hungry for it. He'll want to prove himself. I think deep down he sees himself as a Premier League player. So he'd want to go out and make a good account of himself. I suppose it's also the other players that we've got out on loan, because there are quite a few of them. There's a few at Gastepe that I think a lot of people are keen to see how they get on. So there's just going to be a massive clear out. There is going to be a lot of coming and going. It's going to be a very busy summer. I hope Spurs and the rest of the team are ready for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy summer, and I'm going to cover as much of it as I possibly can. I'll be over every single transfer, every single bit of story we will cover here on the Football Martin channel. And there is a story. We need to cover it. We need to talk about it because it's probably been the first. Look, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, his agent's been quite busy. He changed agent mid-season. He's got an agent quite busy, so he's obviously looking to drum him up some interest. But the super agent, as I call him, is Fabrizio Romano. Not only does he leak transfer stories, he's an agent. There's no doubt about that. He's come out about Jan Bednarek today. Adam, someone we've spoken about a fair bit on the channel is Jan Bednarek. Been at the football club for a long period of time. He signed an extension to his contract actually in the summer to take him to 2027. But it looks like they've put an exit fee on there if we were relegated of £6 million. I think he will go. It sounds like there's clubs that are interested. How do you feel about that one?
Not as if you had said to me at the start of this season, like Bednarek's going to be like going, I would have been like, oh, as you know, we're quite thin at centre back. You know, this was before we had signed Nathan Wood and Ronnie Edwards, who to me personally, I'm not sure what you guys feel about this, but those are the two I want to see next season in the Championship. In a flat back four, none of this three at the back, you know, asking people to run 4-4, whatever. Nathan Wood and Ronnie Edwards, those two together. Probably with Jack Stevens as third option. I could see a world that Stevens signs a deal. You know, he's Southampton kind of through and through. So losing Jan Bednarek, where it's an experienced member of that locker room, you know, a good guy by all accounts, you know, came back and redeemed himself after the Villa stuff. It doesn't bother me as much because we've got these two really exciting players, Edwards of which is just one young player of the season at QPR. He's been there for half a bloody season.
Yeah, he's only been there since January. It's unbelievable.
And he's taken that by absolute storm. So it doesn't bother me as much because I want to see these two be given the full reins as a centre-back partnership with two decent, competent Championship fullbacks next to them. That's exciting. That's something that I can really get behind from a defensive-minded manager.
Yeah, Ben Towers, we talk about the back four, and we talk about fullbacks going back to a flat four. Goalkeeping will be a situation to look at what we do in the goalkeeping department. Aaron Ramsdale will definitely go. There's a lot of talk that Solak wants to raise around £100 million in player sales. He will be probably the first one out the door for me. He's the one that's going to fetch a fair bit as well. Goalkeeper wise, would you stick with the Bazunu, who's going to come back? He's had a bit of an injury, but he's going to be back for pre-season. Do you think the goalkeeping department with Bazunu, Alex McCarthy, and Joe Lumley's enough, or do you want to see somebody else come in as your number one goalkeeper?
I personally would like to see somebody else coming in. I think Alex McCarthy, I don't know whether his contract's up quite soon, but he's still on hefty wages, I think.
He's got one more year. I think he's got one more year.
Okay, so I can't see him being a first choice. Bazunu, I'm seeing a lot of rumours from where he's been on loan, a lot of comments that he hasn't actually done that well over there, and they haven't been that enamoured by him. And obviously he's picked up his injuries. I think there's a big doubt, and there's lots of rumours on X and the like of us looking at these other goalkeepers, and there's one from Bayern Munich I think we've been looking at, and I think, again, you've said the term, there's no smoke without fire. I would say that they're looking at all areas because they know how important this is. You're right, though. Ramsdale is gone. He's the first one out the door, not only because of his wages, but he won't want to play in the Championship. He's at an age now where he needs to get back in that England team, really, or be on the cusp of it, and he's not going to do that from the Championship.
Yeah, struggled, Bazunu, from what I've read. I did translate all their comments when they put the official post out. I read from the club he was with, and I was surprised at some of the comments that they made about him. Adam, for you, goalkeeper, you want to see somebody come in?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going into next season with Alex McCarthy and a dodgy whatever injury and Gavin Bazunu potentially, Joe Lumley's out of contract in the summer. He might not be here next season. I think that's a big worry. So definitely a goalkeeper would be a must for me. Who that is, I don't know. You know, there's a few very nice options in the Championship. You know, I'm looking at, I mean, is there a world that somebody like a Michael Cooper comes if Sheffield United don't go up? Who knows? But yeah, there are a few really exciting options there. But I definitely, as you said, I think Sport Republic, there's not one position that's like, oh, that's absolutely fine there. Every position should get a fair crack for some replacements coming in for sure.
Yeah, Ben P, you want to see a goalkeeper for you?
I want to see a hell of a lot more than a goalkeeper, Martin, to be honest. Look, I'll be honest with you. When you go down, you have to balance the books. 100 million, it's kind of the figure, isn't it? I'm sure we'll do what we need to do. We're used to selling players, fire sales all the time. It's not anything new to us. So I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. And I do have enough confidence that we'll bring the players in that we need to. I think we probably overlooked that we've kind of made a lot of investment in the last year or so. There was I don't know the players' names. I don't know a lot about them, but I've just read the normal stories. There was a player in France, a midfielder who's supposed to be the next big thing. He stayed on loan with the club in France, so he should be coming. There's a central defender that we got from one of the sister clubs. Who else? There's a couple of players that there was I think a Chinese striker or and again he's he's supposed to be one of these up and coming young players out there. So I think there's stuff behind the scenes that will happen, and I hope that if the owners are still there, they're going to put the investment in that they need to make sure that we're as high up as we can be. Goalkeeper for me, yes. More importantly, we were saying it for I don't know how many years. We've not replaced the striker since Danny Ings, like a proper striker. We need more attacking options, obviously, but strikers for me, I do like Archer. I think you were saying last night on one of your videos that you like Archer. I think he could be amazing in the right setup, playing the right style. I
right
think
manager,
really,
right
really
style.
good.
Yeah,
I said that to
totally
you, didn't I, Ben, the other week?
Yeah, my only thing is he can't play up there on his own. Whenever
No, of course not. It's down to what manager we bring in, and
got to be in a front two with someone with a bit of a target man, basically, and then he can feed off.
Yeah, talking of target man.
Paul, we can talk about my favourite player.
Yeah, big tall Paul. Adam Few, does he stay? Onuachu, or would you move him on now?
No chance. He's not fit enough to play in the championship. That's
I agree.
All those games, no way.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's definitely one of those assets that Sport Republic are going to look to try and leverage as much as they can. Which it doesn't bother me. Like he's a big guy, and it's he's a funny player to watch and all that stuff. But I would definitely want to see more out of someone like Cameron Archer be given more of those free reins up front. We know Armstrong will be back, and he's hopefully a guarantee for at least 15 to 20 goals in the championship. But I think Paul Onuachu, one of those big assets that we'll try and leverage for as much as Sport Republic can.
I've got to say, and I know this probably won't go down well for me though. Armstrong, I really think this is the time where we've got too many players that have been around for too long that
scarred is the term.
Yeah, they're mentally disturbed from what's happened playing for Southampton. I think, look, we're not going to clear out the whole squad or anything like that, but if we can, get sort the spine out of the team, I think that's really what we need to concentrate on. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. I know, there's lots of fans that like Armstrong. My wife's one of them. She absolutely loves him. But for me, he's proven that he unfortunately, he's not good enough for the Premiership. Yes, his level is the Championship, but he's been with us for a few seasons now. He had a good season in the Championship for us, but he's gone out on loan. He's got to come. Is he going to come back? Is he going to?
Has he got the hunger? I said this a few times. Will he have that hunger to come and do it again? For me, I think he could come back and do it and be really valuable. But I'm just not sure we have that hunger. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced you have the hunger to come and do it again.
If I had the option to sell him, I would. Honestly, I would.
He's got another 2 years, isn't he? He's got 2 years on his contract.
I could see a world that he does leave, to be fair. Yeah.
I think the problem we've got with our strikers is, well, if we look at them, Paul Onuachu, or Totem Paul, as I like to call him, I love him. I do love him, but he can't play 2 games a week. He can't run most of the time. He needs to be more of a handful than he is, so I don't think he'd be any good in the Championship. I like Ross Stewart when I saw him play the other day. I thought for a first game back in what is effectively 2 years, I think he did a strong 60 minutes. He ran, he chased everything. He could be interesting, but again, who's going to buy him when he's only played 60 minutes in 2 years? So we're probably going to be stuck with him. Cameron Archer needs to play with a very good player alongside him. I think he
could they be the two? Could they be the two?
They could be. They
Stewart
could.
and Archer.
I'd like him to experiment with stuff. Maybe even on Saturday. You know, that could work, and at least we can get some tidbits of potentially what to expect next year. But yeah, I think I'm in agreement with Adam Armstrong. But who's going to pay the money? I mean, we paid 15 million for him. And he's on a relatively new contract, I think. So, you know, he'll be on decent wages. He's just come off the back of a shocking season. And even when he went down to the Championship on loan, he still didn't deliver. So there's going to be big question marks, I think, over him.
Yeah, there will be. It'd be interesting to see if Stewart can get himself fit over pre-season and stay fit for a period of time.
Yeah.
Adam, we spoke a little bit about fitness levels, and I want to talk about it again, actually, is how important pre-season is. I was chatting to a fitness coach a few days ago, actually, and he was sort of saying to me, it was really, really difficult it was like an amateur level, but he was semi-pro level. He was saying it's really hard to try, when you're in game time, it's really hard to bring fitness levels up. You're dictated to by games, aren't you? Pre-season is really important to really get fitness levels bang on, because I felt a little bit this year we've looked a little bit short. I may be wrong in saying that, but we blow gaskets in games all the time.
Yeah, definitely. It's there's a serious problem in this team from a mentality standpoint to not be able to hold on to a lead. But also a big reason for that is because these players just can't go for 90 minutes. You know, it always comes back to that game against United, you know, at Old Trafford, 1-0 up. You know, we're thinking, we're closing down on this could be a great win. You know what I mean? But then United go and score a goal and then the heads just drop. But then also from a physicality standpoint, like, you know, I think Sulemana was off the pitch at this point, but he was the only person who was just running and, he's paced for days, right? You know, he just keeps going. But yeah, the fitness levels in this team, it's been alarming. It's been quite alarming to see that these players they tire so easily. And, you know, you're thinking you bring up some fresh legs off the bench, well, the fresh legs don't look that much fresher than what's been on before them, you know? So, yeah, the pre-season can't be understated. It's unbelievably huge. And that's why I think a manager such as Danny Roll, or maybe Will Still, somebody who is in high-intensity pressing manager, I'd hope would come in and kind of get these guys in order, you know, a bit like what Pochettino done back in 2013. You know, he came in and Lambert has come out himself and said that people were being sick in them training sessions. He was working so hard.
Training sessions, wasn't it? He was doing.
Yeah, let this going all out, you know, putting people through like camps, you know, training camps, basically. We need something like that because the levels are all the way down there. We need to bring them at least to back up here because these players can't go for 90 minutes and you're not going to come up. You're not going to win games. You're not going to get promotion with poor fitness levels.
That's a good point by Steve. That is very, very true. Back in the day, there was loads more reserve team fixtures. Chris that comes on the channel, Chris Newnham, he speaks about that a lot as well. I think it's a really, really good point. Ben T, this one's a good one from Nick. I think we're not capable of running, but I also wonder whether it's partly down to the pass football under Russell Martin. It was encouraged to pass the ball 5, 10, 15 yards and maybe not go and press teams so much. Do you think that's maybe like going from one manager to another manager has been a big issue this year?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Talking about the style of football there, I mean, it was such a slow build up under Russell Martin. They didn't really need to bust a gut to get forward. It was, I'm going to use one of Ben's terms, banana football. It used to just go around and work its way up the pitch. And yeah, it was quite slow. They wanted to do that to try and lure the opponents in to get them on the break. But yeah, I don't think there was as much running. I heard a rumor that, you know, he gave him a lot of time off, Martin, between games, maybe to befriend them, maybe to keep them on side. I don't know. But whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, I agree. I think when you look at a lot of the top teams, it's not unheard of that they might play 4 or 5 games on the bounce unchanged. We've never had that. I can't remember maybe 2 or even 3 games in a row where we've had the same team, mainly because we couldn't figure out what our best team was. But I think also from a fitness perspective, people just couldn't play 2 games back to back. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad. I'm really enjoying the show. Hope you guys are enjoying it as well. I hope my guests that are here on the panel are enjoying it. Thank you for everyone tuning in. There's plenty of you here. We're coming to the back end of the show now, and we're going to turn our attention to the weekend's game. Leicester City, 2,200 fans are expected to go there. Isn't it unbelievable? We've got 2,200 fans that are going to travel to
Best
the Midlands
fans in
the
the world.
weekend. Yeah, for Al Crapio, it's been dubbed as. Let's talk about the fans, Ben Parker. On the road this year, it's been absolutely insane, this support, hasn't it? I think it's unheard of, unseen in the Premier League for a team that have been so bad.
Yeah, any other team, I challenge any other team in the Premiership to put the numbers out that we have at away games. It's absolutely ridiculous. I was at the West Ham game with you, Martin, and just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was unreal.
The effort that these fans put in, and this is the thing. This ownership group needs to have a good hard look at themselves and look what they're doing right now, and they need to start making these decisions properly and sort of making it up to the fan base, because we've had a bloody awful year. It's been horrendous. I was actually looking at some of the videos from Wembley today that I made, and it was to go from that to being where we are now. It's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking.
Football's so brutal, isn't it, Benty? It is so brutal. You can go from that amazing day that we had at Wembley to where we are right now. Leicester the same. They won the Championship last season. We were neck and neck for them for a little period of time. We had the weekend, and they're probably worse than us at the moment. Leicester.
They had their manager ripped away, though, didn't they? Straight away,
Yeah. Their manager went. They brought in Steve Cooper, a man that's been linked with the Saints job, who was actually, when he left and they decided to sack him, well clear of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Should have got rid of him.
I agree. Do you think Ben, that they would be in a far better position than they are right now if they kept him?
I think they probably would. I think, again, it's be careful what you wish for. It's a bit like us with Claude Puel back in the day. I mean, it was a style of football. And unfortunately, the Leicester board have listened to the fans, and they've taken it upon themselves to take action. But they might have always gone down. I mean, I think the bottom three have struggled all season. But I think they'd have been a bit closer to safety than they are now, definitely.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think they would be in a far better position. Adam, for you, Van Nistelrooy, he took on a really, really tough challenge there. Jack said to me today from the final whistle when I did the preview show with him, make sure you go check it out, guys. It's on the channel, the preview show with Jack. It's an hour of great chat. It was quite funny as well. He said to me he's the worst manager he's ever seen in his time being a Leicester City fan.
Certainly, yeah. It's certainly hard to argue that. I mean, there was that bizarre stat, wasn't there, that they didn't score for about 8 or 9 home games, and we had gone through 2 managers at that point or something. That's mental. So yeah, I mean, I haven't watched as much Leicester as I done last season, but yeah, it's not good. They are arguably worse than us at the moment, and I never thought I'd be saying that with where we are. But I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those games this week, and I think there's going to be goals because neither team can really defend at the moment. But then it's great to say that because neither teams are really scoring as well. I mean, Vardy's on his swan song, right? And he loves a goal against us. So turn back the clock and get a couple. But it's hard to argue. Van Nistelrooy has been pretty poor.
Yeah, he has been really, really poor. Potentially the last time that we play against Vardy this weekend, isn't it?
Please.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I think the disappointing thing for Leicester fans, I've got a friend at work, Paul, who is a Leicester fan, and I remember speaking to him when they brought Van Nistelrooy on, and I said I was quite shocked that they'd gone with Van Nistelrooy. He had a great 3 games or whatever it was at Man United, which seemed to have got him the job. Funny that the 2 of the games were against Leicester that Man United played. I think what's probably disappointing to go 9 games or whatever it was at home and not score. Van Nistelrooy in his day was one of the best strikers around.
Yeah.
So you kind of think bringing a manager on, all right, maybe defensively they won't be great, but you kind of expect them to score goals. So I don't know. That would be my view if I was a Leicester supporter. But
So they'll get 3 against us on Saturday then.
they probably will, Ben. They probably will, and that's what annoys me. But
yeah, you'll guarantee that Vardy will score against us the weekend. I'll tell you what I should do from all of you is I did my score prediction earlier, so I'll go last. I'll start with Ben, top right. What's your score prediction for the weekend's game?
I'd always go for Southampton, and I
Always
think
back your team.
there will be goals. I think there will be goals because, as we've said, the defences for both teams are not very good. I think we're going to get a 2-1, and Tall Paul's going to get the winner. I'm sorry, he's going to take the stance. He's going to come on 10 minutes to go. And he's going to grab it.
Adam, score prediction for you, mate?
I'll go 2-2. I think there'll be goals. I'll go 2-2.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'll go with Ben. Sorry, Ben, I missed you out there. Ben, bottom right.
We never score more than 1 goal, unfortunately. So I'm going to go 1-1. It's going to take us beyond Derby's record, which will be good. So it'll literally be like a victory for us. But I'm going to go 1-1, and I'm going to go with a Ross Stewart goal.
Yeah, I fancy Ross to score the weekend. I'll go with a 3-1. I'm going to go with 3-1. I think we get 3 the weekend.
What
It won't happen, but I'm just going to dream. It's my last away game this weekend. I'm going to go. I'm not doing Everton last game. I don't have a ticket for that, but I'm going to do this one, and then the last couple of home games. And call that it. I feel absolutely shattered with this season. It's been such a long season. Yeah. Looking forward to looking for a bit of downtime over the summer, then just to recharge. And then go again next year. It's been brilliant, guys. Thank you so much for coming on, Ben, and Adam. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in this evening as well. It's been an absolute blast. We will look to do this more regularly. We'll look to do it again. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video. Share it with a friend that may enjoy the content as well. And if you're watching on catch up, get involved in the comments as well and give us all your thoughts to all the topics, all the conversation that we've had this evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you again on the channel at the weekend.